came out of San Antonio. Spurs star Victor Wembanyama will miss the remainder of the season after being diagnosed with deep vein thrombosis, which is a blood clot in his right shoulder. Wembanyama, he was having a historic season. He became the first player to average at least 3 made three-pointers and 3 blocks in a season in NBA history. He also averaged the most blocks in a season since Alonzo Mourning in 1998-1999. Our senior insider Shams Charania back with us now. Shams, you reported that the Spurs believe that Wemby is going to make a full recovery here, but what does the start of that process look like?
It starts with how he's doing right now, and from what I'm told, he is emotionally doing well. He and the Spurs right now are working through treatment options on how to move forward here with that blood clot in his right shoulder. And the best news out of what's been a setback of a week for the Spurs is they don't expect any long-term issues here. They believe that clot in his right shoulder is isolated, and they believe he will play next season. Furthermore, sources tell me Wembanyama and Coach Greg Popovich have been in very active communication in the wake of this diagnosis. They've been speaking frequently, and from my understanding, Greg Popovich has been very hands-on with Victor Wembanyama in the wake of what's happened this week.
You mentioned Greg Popovich. He's been away from the team since suffering a stroke in early November. Where is he at in terms of his recovery process?
Greg Popovich is not expected to return to the team this season. He is not going to be back. That's what the Spurs are operating under. And his future is clearly under some uncertainty right now. He hasn't coached since he had that mild stroke in November, and he continues to progress in his rehab. From a human perspective, he is getting stronger and stronger. There will be a time and place in the future where he will make determinations and address his long-term future.
Oh, Bob, obviously the most important part of all of this is, as a person, he's recovering. He's, as Shams is saying, is starting to make those sorts of steps in terms of his progress, but unclear on when he's going to return to the sidelines here.
Yeah, you're just seeing the highlights of him there, Malika. It's like you realize how powerful of a figure he was and is in this league for the last many 20, 30 years. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad because you never, look, I don't know how many more years he wanted to coach anyway, but in any profession, in any walk of life, you want to go out on your own terms. And he hasn't gotten to do that yet. So even if he could come back and coach a season or whatever he could do and then say, I went out my own way, that'd be a fitting end for a guy that's given so much to the game.
Sometimes you just need a break, and I expect Greg Popovich to be back next season. I expect him to be healthy and vibrant and ready to go, and obviously impart his words of wisdom upon Wembanyama and other guys like that. Affectionately speaking, I've often called Greg Popovich one of the biggest phonies in NBA history because all of this attitude that he has and he gives off, he is absolutely positively one of the nicest people. If you got to know him, if you talk to him, he's a good man, and he's done a lot of good things for the league and a lot of good things for a lot of players, and his personality doesn't give that off at all. But people don't know that about him. He is a really good man.
And then people got to realize when it comes down to Pop, right, at 76 years old, 5 NBA championships, what is he still doing it for? One, he's still doing it for the love, but 2, it keeps him young. Right? This is his sanctuary. At 76 years old, you don't just want to be at the crib. You don't just want to be just chilling, right? You want to stay active. And I do believe he's going to be back on the sideline. I believe he wants to be back on the sideline, especially looking at the direction that this franchise is going in. You got De'Aaron Fox. You got Victor Wembanyama. You got Stephon Castle. So this future is looking extremely bright, and I want to see Greg Popovich be a part of this future, at least if it's for like 2 years.
Again, Shams reporting that he's not going to be returning, is not expected to return to the sidelines this year, but is making progress in his recovery from that stroke that he suffered in November, which is very, very good news. Shams, thank you so much for that update. As we continue to count you down here to tip-off between the Los Angeles Lakers and Denver Nuggets. Perk, he just gave us a 40-piece at 40.
Yeah.
What's the score tonight?
He on the mission, huh?
You're 40, right?
It's been a one-sided affair, right, over the last 2 years. The Nuggets have won 13 of their last 14 games against LA. That includes last year's first-round series where Denver won in 5 games. But including the regular season here and the playoffs, LeBron James has lost 9 straight games at Denver, right? His longest road losing streak versus a single opponent in his career. And the main reason for this domination, of course, is Nikola Jokic. He did at least 20 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists in 10 straight games versus the Lakers. That's the second longest streak against a single opponent in NBA history, trailing only Nikola Jokic also, but first the Pelicans. So it's time now for Pick and Roll, brought to you by ESPN Sportsbook. We are all rolling with Denver, which is kind of the only good sign here for the Lakers in this game, because when we all pick one way, historically speaking, sometimes it goes the other way, Stephen A. Sign up for ESPN Sportsbook and get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first wager of $10. Download today and sign up with the promo code COUNTDOWN to get started. But, Stephen A., those last 14 meetings, they have not had Luka Doncic in them. How can he be a difference maker in this?
Well, I think he makes the Los Angeles Lakers more potent offensively. And I think that when you look at Anthony Davis and what he was able to do, he's had some good offensive games against Nikola Jokic. But in the end, to think about what Luka and LeBron and how potent they can be, it can bring a different dimension offensively. Defensively, you'll get slaughtered. You've got no chance. But offensively, if you want to engage in a quote-unquote shootout, per se, that's your only chance, and Luka gives you a better chance than Anthony Davis in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to outscore people. And people are going to watch this game. This is going to be a good game, I think, to watch, because it's Denver's playing fantastic. And Luka and LeBron, they know they're on ABC. They're aware of that. And LeBron's well aware he hasn't won in Denver in 9 games.
Yes.
Or whatever it is. He knows everything. He sure knows that. But the Lakers are 15th in defense in the league. They just traded away Anthony Davis, who's an all-NBA defender. Max Christie, who's probably their best perimeter defender. So to Stephen A's point, they're going to be an entertaining team, this Lakers team, because they've got 2 of the best players in the league, LeBron and Luka, that can create for themselves and others. But defensively, against a very efficient offensive team in Denver, it's going to be hard for them to get on the same page and figure out how they're going to protect each other. And without Anthony Davis at the rim, it's going to be very difficult.
Well, look, we already know that they're dead bird tall grass defensively when you talk about the Lakers. But offensively, you know what?
A what?
Dead bird tall grass.
That one I don't.
But you know what they they do a great job of doing when it comes down to LeBron and Luka? Searching out mismatches. And both of those guys are really, really good of taking advantage of mismatches.
Right.
Not just on the perimeter, but also on the low block. What?
You're right, but Denver poses a different kind of problem because LeBron and Luka are primarily able to do it because of their size. You know, both of them are big boys. Well, you seen Denver? See Michael Porter? See Aaron Gordon? These brothers? They're not small.
I do. Yeah. But that's why I said searching out the mismatch.
Yeah, you're right.
Right? Searching out. That meaning, like, you don't necessarily have to call Jokic up in the pick and roll. You could call Jamal Murray up in the pick and roll. We seen Braun do it to Steph Curry a lot, where you want to get that mismatch and take advantage of it. So, again, I'm looking at it. The problem with the Lakers in the past not only has been Jokic when it comes down to guarding Denver, but it's been Jamal Murray. You go out and you get a Finney Smith. Why do you go get him? Right, to address some of those issues. Also, Jared Vanderbilt is back. Now he's healthy. He's a high motor. Maybe he could contain them.
I just think if your strategy is, and the Lakers' strategy for the rest of the season into the playoffs is going to be, we got to outscore our opponent. We can't rely on our defense. That strategy is never sustainable.
Stephen A. Hey, Malika, they actually been pretty damn good defensively. And then the last time we won air and the Lakers played the New York Knicks, we thought Karl Anthony Towns was going to punish them.
Okay.
JJ